Oh, this is a special one. I love the energy of this podcast, of this episode, especially. And today we're talking about the power of completion and how to tie up any loose ends that you have before the new year. And there's something very powerful about finishing what you started before the clock strikes midnight on December 31st. And completion creates space for new opportunities, space for growth, and space for really aligned action in the new year. And so making sure, like, I often review, what have I got outstanding? What do I need to complete? And especially this is really powerful for the end of the year, right? Like it's that whole energy of endings mean new beginnings, right? So every year, especially at the end of the year, I make sure I make a list of any loose ends that I want to tie up before January starts. And it might sound like a small thing, but the sense of closure and clarity that it brings you is truly transformational, right? It's phenomenal. So let's dive into this. And let's start with, really, why is completion important? Why does it matter, right? And if we think about it to start with from an energetic space, if you've got a lot of unfinished tasks, they drain your energy and they create mental clutter, right? Have you ever been, like there's something in your house and like needs to be fixed or put away, and every time you go past it, you go, oh, I need to put that away, or I need to fix that. Like it's a thought that's in your head that's taking up space that it doesn't need to. Okay, so when we complete those tasks, it clears the way for new possibilities, right? It stops us using that energy on those things unnecessarily, because we really need to value our energy. Like your energy and your focus is like some of the most valuable resources that you have. And so if you're wasting it on things that are just like unfinished, you're just limiting your output. Okay. It also, when you finish something, it also affects your confidence, right? You feel more confident. You feel more got together, got together. Like you feel like you've got it all together. It's what I'm trying to say. So when you finish something, even if it's a small task, it reinforces your own understanding of your ability to follow through with things. And, for example, like the other day, we have a cleaner that comes and a gardener that comes fortnightly, and they come in the same week. And so the gardener comes on Monday and the cleaner comes on Wednesday. And Paul and I were going out for dinner, and we were leaving the house, and I'm just like, oh, it's so nice, like to be like the garden's all nice and neat and everything's done and the house is all nice and clean and everything's tidy. I'm like, I just feel like we've been grown-ups and that we've got all of our shit together because everything's done. Like there's no going, oh yeah, the bathroom mirror really needs a wipe, or oh yeah, like the floor needs a vacuum, or oh, like the grass is getting a bit long. Like none of that mental chatter's there. Like it's all done. Right. And you're just like, yeah, like I've got it all together. If anyone was to come and look in my house right now and come and look in my life, they're like, yeah, Toni's got it all together. I look at my life and I go, I've got it all together. So finishing things does give you that sense of confidence. And finishing things also is very symbolic, right? It's very symbolic because nature abhors a vacuum. Okay. So when you finish something, it's symbolic that you're ready for a new start. It's symbolic that you're ready for something else to come in. And if you're finishing things up at the end of the year, that means you're starting the new year with a clean slate, and it really sets the tone for clarity and focus. And it's just an amazing space to be in. So let's really look at, a bit of a checklist. Okay, so completion. Okay, great. Got it. Sounds like a great idea. I'll give you a bit of a checklist to go through. So the first thing that you want to do is really look at and write a list of all of your unfinished business. right? So write down everything that you've started but not completed, everything that you said you're going to do but haven't completed, everything that you've agreed to with anyone else and you haven't completed. Write a list of everything. It could be projects, it could be admin tasks, it could be conversations, it could be personal goals, it could be any kinds of agreements, things that you've done, right? Write them all down. And so you've got a whole list of everything that is incomplete in your life. And then once you've got that list, right, then you want to prioritize them, right? The next step is prioritizing. So look at that list. And I love low hanging fruit, like quick wins that give you momentum. So look at your list and go, okay, what is it that will give me the greatest sense of closure or momentum if I finish it now? But like I can do quickly, like, so quick, right? It's like if you are doing an exam and you read through all of the questions and you go through and you answer all the ones that you know easily first, right? And then you go to the ones that are harder. It's going to take more thinking, because if you start with the ones that are harder and takes more thinking, you might spend too much time on it and then you run out of time and you don't get as much like momentum and progression forward as if you started with all the easy ones. So start off with quick wins, but do prioritize. So if there's anything that's going to be, especially if it's like revenue related and you're going to make money out of it, prioritize that. But definitely look through there, see what are the things that you can complete and go through and just finish them off, right? What can I finish now that's going to give me some real momentum? And so, some of these things might be following up with a client about something so that you can finalize a contract. Or it could be around organizing your workspace, because, that stuff usually is a lot quicker than what you expect it's going to be. I know that there's something like, for example, one of the things I'm going to do by the end of this year is my laundry cupboard. I've got like these built-in, it's like a built-in wardrobe, but in the laundry. And it's just got stuff shoved in there. We don't really use it very much. It's just like a storage space, but it needs cleaning out. And there's stuff in there that could probably be chucked out. And I keep like imagining it's going to take ages, but literally if I just went through and pulled everything out, wiped it all out, and just put stuff back in there that I actually want to keep, I don't think it would probably take me more than probably an hour, right? But it's there. And every time I go in the laundry, I'm like, oh yeah, I've got to like finish off. I've got to go through the laundry cupboard, right? So think about things that you can do and sort them out quick, smart, and take action on it, right? Take action. So that might be that you need to schedule in a time to complete those tasks. And I do recommend that even if you dedicate a whole day just to be doing like finishing off tasks, I do recommend, even if you don't have a whole day, I recommend that for each task that you're going to do, you allocate an amount of time for it, and you set a timer on your phone, and you start the timer, and then you get stuck in and do it to completion, right? So it might be something that takes you 15 minutes. It might be something that takes you half an hour. It might be something that takes you an hour. Whatever it is, set a timer for it and then just like go, I'm going to get it done in this time. Because otherwise what happens is you'll start getting in, and it's a bit like if you ever see those memes about and then like I started cleaning out my room and then I found all this old cool stuff, and there's like someone sitting there with like a Santa hat on and some crazy sunglasses and a Hawaiian shirt and I don't know, whatever else ridiculous stuff that you find, a feather boa that you find, that you go, oh, this is really cool stuff, and you start checking it out. So you want to avoid doing that by getting really specific about how much time you're going to spend and get it completed. And even if you end up with some stuff that you're like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet, put it aside, get the main thing finished. Really important. And you'll feel so much difference for it, just having that focused energy and attention for it. And when you put a time frame around things, it doesn't seem like that bad. You're like, oh, okay, this isn't going to go for the rest of the afternoon. It's like literally I've got a definition of how much time I'm going to focus on doing this. And then the next step from there is to make sure that you are going to let go of anything that no longer serves you, right? Let go and anything that no longer serves you. So you might find that on your list, there are some things that you no longer want to complete, right? Maybe there's something that you've been chasing for someone and you've decided that, you know what, it's not worth your time and energy to keep following them up. And you just take it off your list. And you just go, I'm done with that. They can come back to me if they really want to. It could be stuff that, it might be a course that you've been saying that you're going to do, or maybe you signed up for a course and it was like, I don't know, there was like a yoga course that I signed up for online, and it was pretty cheap, like $50 or $100, I can't remember. But when I got all the course material, there was that much ridiculous amounts of course material in there. I just went, I was really not expecting this much stuff for however much I paid. And now it seems too overwhelming. And I keep getting emails from them and I keep thinking like, really, I don't think I'm even going to do that. So, that's something I probably need to revisit it and just go in and have a look and decide if I'm going to do it or not. And then decide and either make a plan to do it or just go, no, I'm not even going to do that anymore. It's not even interesting me. So let go of the things that no longer serve you. If you've got stuff around that needs to be fixed, right? If you're one of those people that you got all these things and then maybe they're a bit broken or there's something a bit wrong with them, but you're like, oh yeah, I could just fix it. Either fix it or get rid of it. Right? Either fix it or get rid of it, because having stuff around, especially that is not even in working order, is really bad juju, right? It's really bad energy. It's really interesting, actually. I heard this once about clocks. Can't remember if this is feng shui or what it is, but watches and clocks that are broken or don't have batteries and are not keeping the time, not good either. Get rid of them, or have them working. So just look at those things. So, what stuff have you got around that you're not even using? Could be a good time to look into your wardrobe as well. If you're like always in your wardrobe going and you go through your wardrobe all the time and you're like, oh, yeah, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. And there's all these clothes in there that they just never seem right. Like you just never seem to have an occasion for them. And maybe you've had them for longer than you expected. Maybe you never wore them. Just decide if they're not right for you, get rid of them, because otherwise you are just spending time considering that every time you go into your wardrobe. So get rid of anything that no longer serves you. Cross it off your list. If you're really not going to do it, put it away. Be like, yeah, I'm not going to entertain that anymore. You will free up so much energy for yourself that you will be blown away. Right? You'll free up loads of energy, because this is the thing, more things we have on our list, even the more objects that you have. So if you've got a lot of clutter in your house, like if you've got a lot of old stuff, and this happens especially like when people pass away, say like parents pass away or grandparents pass away, and we're in charge, you might have been in charge and clearing out their stuff, like, oh, you've moved house and you've got all your kids' stuff or whatever. Sometimes like it can be like more of a sentimental thing and you just don't want to see all that stuff go. And so you end up keeping all of this stuff just because you didn't want to part with it or you had no good place for it to go. That like will drain your energy. That will drain your energy. Absolutely, you might hold on to things for a while, but go through and go, what do I really want to hold here? What do I really want to, use? Do I really need all of this stuff in memory of that person? And the thing is as well, this is a really important thing. I remember hearing this once and it made so much sense. And it's that sometimes we hold on to a lot of stuff, especially if it's sentimental stuff, to prove that either we matter or somebody else mattered. And the fact is that you do matter and that person mattered as well, and you will matter and they will matter regardless of how much stuff you hold on to. And in fact, you matter so much that you deserve not to be wasting your energy holding on to physical stuff that's not really doing anything. So, let go of stuff that no longer serves you. Keep for yourself things that you're going to look at regularly, use regularly, get value out of regularly, that stuff, absolutely. Okay, so this is a task that is going to pay off in spades. And like I said, it can just be a lot of the things you might find. And often when we feel overwhelmed, if you're feeling overwhelmed about this, like, oh my God, I've got all of these things that I've got to finish, that I've got messing around in my mind. The thing is that we generally won't be overwhelmed more than like 10 or 15 things. And so once you write out this list, you actually go, oh my God, there's not that many things. And in fact, I can sort a lot of these things out really easily. And when you do that, the energy that you'll free up for yourself and the lightness that you'll have, and it's like you catapult yourself into your new identity, right? It's like you have this giant leap forward because you've let go of all of this stuff that's no longer you. Right? The old you, you've let it all go. You're no longer that person that's worried about this thing or that thing. You've finished those things off. Any of the contracts, like, if you have contracts with people, you have an energetic connection until those contracts are complete. You will be leaking energy everywhere until you go through this process and create completion. Create completion. It's super powerful. So start with your checklist. Go through, prioritize, make sure that you really focus on some low-hanging fruit, things that you can do that are quick wins, and then dedicate some time. And you know what? You could even if you're like, oh my God, I'm so busy, I've never got time for this. Honestly, writing a list could take you 15 minutes, and then you could like dedicate 15 minutes a day. And if you're like, oh, I haven't got time for that, get up 15 minutes earlier. Like, it's not a big deal, and just do some things. But the progress that you'll get from doing that and the energy shift will just be mind blowing. So I would love to know what is the first thing when you heard this, when you listened to this, what was the first thing that jumped into your mind that you know that you need to complete? And send me a message. Tell me about it, right? And tell me what you got finished and how good does that feel? Because I promise you, if you do this, you're going to finish this year feeling completely different, and you'll be so excited for the new year. It does things to you, right? It does things to you. And I want that for you, to have a beautiful, new, fresh start to 2025. So good luck. I'm excited for you. It's time to let it go, let it go, let it go.